Hey YouTube, how's it going? Dustin Smith here with A2K, Allegiance to the King. Today we're going to be looking at the dead and the state of the dead and the direction of where the dead go when they die. And we're going to specifically be looking in the book of Job, okay? The Old Testament book of Job. It's listed in the books of poetry. And in the book of Job, we have, count them, 6 references to people returning to the dust when they die. All right, let's look at these 6 passages very quickly. We're going to see this is a common theme. And remember, this is drawing from what was originally said to Adam in Genesis 3:19. Just as a recap, Genesis 3:19, God tells Adam, he says, "You are dust, and to dust you shall return." Okay, Genesis 3:19, God tells Adam he was made from dust, and that Adam is going to return to dust when he dies. Okay, so let's look in the book of Job, and let's pick up this theme. We're going to look very quickly at 6 passages. Passage number 1 is in Job 7 and verse 21, where the writer says, "Why then do you pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust. You will seek me, and I will not be." Okay, that's Job 7 and verse 21, where notice the personal pronoun there, I am going to lie down into the dust. This is where that person is going. He's going to go down to the dust. You will seek me, and I will not be. Okay, so it's not talking about bodies or souls or anything else going off to heaven. No, I want to know, where is this person going to go when he dies? And he says, I will lie down in the dust. Okay, returning to the dust, because from the dust he was created. That's our first passage. Second passage in chapter 10, Job chapter 10 and verse 9. Second passage, Job 10 and verse 9. And it says this, "Remember now that you have made me as clay, and you would turn me into dust again." Job 10 and verse 9. You would turn me into dust again. All right. Notice turning that person to dust. He's going to return to dust. And the sense there is that he was already dust at the point when he was created, drawing again on this Adam imagery of Adam was created from the dust of the ground, and when he died, Adam returned to dust. And so the writer here is saying, Job here is saying, that God, you would turn me into dust again. All right, so this person, Job, is going to return to the dust when he dies. That's our second passage. Third passage is in chapter 17 and verse 16. Moving very quickly here. Job 17 and verse 16, where it says, "Will it go down with me to Sheol? Shall we together go down into the dust?" That's Job 17 and verse 16. And we have the parallelism there about going down to Sheol. Sheol is the Hebrew word for the grave, or the place where the dead are. And then in the other side of the parallelism is the fact of the person going down to the dust. Okay, so going down to Sheol, notice the downward direction. Going down to Sheol is the same thing as going down to the dust. And again, it uses the pronouns. Okay, me, I'm going down to Sheol, and we are going down to the dust. Okay, that is where those persons are going. It's not about the splitting up of the body and having the soul go one place and the body going somewhere else. No, I want to know, where are those persons going? Where are they going? This person is saying he's going down to Sheol and he's going down to the dust. That's simple, easy peasy. All right, that's passage number 3. Passage number 4 is in chapter 20, Job chapter 20 and verse 11, where it says, "His bones are full of his youthful vigor, but it lies down with him in the dust." Okay, so his youthful vigor is going to die with this person. It's going to lie down with him. And where is he at? He is down in the dust. Okay, notice this continuing theme here. These people are dying, everybody is dying, and they are returning to the dust. They're not going off to heaven. They're definitely not going down to a fiery hell, and they're not going to any sort of Catholic purgatory. No, they're all going down to the dust, to the grave, a downward direction to where they're unconscious, and they're going to be awaiting resurrection. Okay, that is passage number 4. Let's move on to number 5. Job chapter 21 and verse 26 says, "Together they lie down," where? In the dust, "and worms cover them." Okay, they, notice that pronoun there, they lie down in the dust. That's the direction of where they are lying down, and worms are going to cover them. Again, using the pronoun worms are going to cover them. Not just their bodies, worms are going to cover them because they are down there in the dust. Again, not in heaven, not in hell, not in purgatory. They're all down in the dust in the grave in Sheol. Last passage we'll look at is in Job 34 and verse 15. Job 34:15, which says, all flesh would perish together, and man, in parallelism, would return, guess where? To dust. All right, Job 34:15, we have the parallelism there, that if God were to take away his breath of life from people, then all flesh would perish. That means all flesh would die. They would all die together, and in parallelism, and mankind and humanity would return to the dust. Because remember, humanity, mankind, Adam, was created from the dust of the ground, and when Adam died, he returned to the dust. So here, if God took away his breath of life, then all flesh would perish, and all humanity would return to the dust. Okay? Folks, that's 6 passages in the book of Job that demonstrate that when people die, they're not going off to heaven with some immortal soul. They're definitely not going down to a fiery hell. They're not going to some sort of Catholic purgatory. No, they are all, each and every person, without question, regardless of whether they're righteous or they're unrighteous, they are all going to the dust. They're going to the grave. They're going to Sheol, and that is where the persons are going until the time of resurrection. Okay? Hopefully this video has encouraged you in your understanding as to what happens when people die according to what the Bible says and where they go according to what the Bible says. I encourage you to continue to read and study the Bible as we learn to become more godly and more Christ-like. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share for more videos from A2K. My name is Dustin Smith. I'm with Allegiance to the King, and until next time, take care.